So welcome everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Jenny Garrett. I'm an award-winning career coach, author and leadership trainer. My books explore the empowerment of working women in leadership roles. And I also deliver talks and programs to support the progression of women and those from Black, Asian and minority backgrounds in the workplace. So we're here to talk about career progression. And the global pandemic has impacted many careers. Whether you're a key worker who hasn't stopped during this challenging time, or you've had to rapidly adapt to working from home and new technology, or your role's been made redundant, or you've been furloughed, it will have impacted your work in some way. And with this prevailing insecurity, you might have shied away from thinking about progressing your career at this time. But is that the right approach? We're going to discuss that today. During this session, experienced executive coaches, Carol Stewart, OB, I don't know how to pronounce your surname actually, tell me.
It's Alafoje. Although it said Aurora there, but it's Obehi Alafoje.
Alafoje, and Janice Taylor, who are all listed in the Diverse Coaching Directory, a directory which connects corporate organizations with coaches from Black, Asian, and minority backgrounds. We'll discuss what approaches to progressing your career during this challenging and a changing time. So Carol, Obi, and Janice are going to introduce themselves shortly. And then I will ask them a few questions, and then we'll open it up to you for questions and reflections. And Leah will keep an eye on the chat throughout and flag up to us any burning questions that you have. But we're going to start with a poll. So we'd love to know what your work situation is. Hopefully you can see that poll. Are you employed and furloughed at the moment? Gigging, freelancing, running your own business, in transition, or I'm sure I've missed something. So if I've missed something, do type it in the chat. Okay. Wait for a few more of you to have completed it. I know sometimes if you're on your phone, it's harder to see or it doesn't show up. So if for some reason you can't access the poll, then just type in the chat. Well, it looks, oh, very good. 91% of you completed it. So I will close it now and share the results. Lovely. So we have 52% of you are employed, and 16% are running your own business and in transition, 10% furloughed, and 6% gigging or freelancing. So thanks for letting us know that. That's just really helpful to know who's here. It feels like most of you are employed people and looking to really think about progressing your career at this time. So thank you. Hopefully that poll's disappeared. It hasn't disappeared from my screen, but technology for you. So let's move on. I'm really honored to have these coaches with me, and they've got such a wealth of experience, and it would be great if they would introduce themselves now. So I'll start with Carol. If you could introduce yourself, please, that would be fantastic.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carol Stewart, and I'm an executive and career coach. And I specialize in coaching introverted women who are senior leaders, and I help them to lead with influence and impact. I'm also an author. My book's called Quietly Visible, Leading with Influence and Impact as an Introverted Woman. And my company is called Abounding Solutions. And I'm also a LinkedIn Top Voice UK.
Wonderful. And you should be able to find everyone's Twitter on the chat if you scroll up. So feel free to tweet our wonderful speakers. Abound Solutions is Carol's Twitter. And we're using the hashtag career progress today. So feel free to tweet, feel free to use that hashtag. Lovely. So we'll go to Janice next.
Hello, my name is Janice Taylor and I'm a career coach and writer, and I'm based in Brighton. I'm really delighted to be here with you all this evening. I work with individuals at different stages in their careers, from recent graduates through to business owners and senior managers, helping people to gain some clarity, I guess, over where they want to take their careers so they can move forward. And I've been running my business, Blue Sky Career Consulting, for 20 years now. And I also write. I'm a very enthusiastic writer, so I regularly post on Medium, LinkedIn, and the 3 blogs I manage. So that's me.
That's a lot of writing. Wow. Thank you. There's definitely a book that needs to come out with all of that.
Yeah, you're right. I do need to get around to that.
So Janice's Twitter is Blue Sky 1001. So if you want to tweet her, Blue Sky 1001. And as I said, we're using the hashtag career progress. Last but not least, we have Obi. Please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Obehi Alafoje, Obi for short. I'm a psychologist and productivity coach. I have a background in stress management, and I'm co-founder of a company called Aurora Wellness in the UK, and we help corporate organizations provide mental well-being and productivity solutions to the employees. And we also help business owners who have their own companies to be able to be more productive without feeling overwhelmed or burnt out. So that's what we do. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you. And I didn't know your Twitter. What is your Twitter address?
I don't have Twitter. I don't get it.
That's why I couldn't find
I'm
you.
sorry. I'm one of those that just don't get it.
Okay,
Twitter
great.
thing.
So if we want to find
I'm on,
you,
if
find
I'm
you
on LinkedIn. Yeah.
easy to find you on LinkedIn, but we can't
Definitely.
find
Yeah.
you. You could just use her name and tweet about how amazing she is if you want to. Great. And my handle is at Jennifer Garrett. It's my formal name, the one that only my mum uses. So at Jennifer Garrett, hashtag career progress. So let's move into the meat of this and start this conversation. And my first conversation for you is, how does this current uncertainty impact career plans? So should senior leaders just sit tight and wait for it all to be over before resuming their career ambitions, or not? Yeah. And what's the reason for that? So who wants to start?
I'm happy to.
Thank you, Carol.
Good.
So no, I don't think that they should sit tight unless their circumstances dictate otherwise. So, they may have got personal reasons why they can't pursue it at the moment. But otherwise, I would say to continue, because even though it may feel as if the world is at a standstill with this pandemic, things are still happening, and jobs are still available. Even though we're seeing a lot of job losses, there are still a lot of opportunities that are coming about, and we're seeing a lot of different types of opportunities coming about. So I think if a senior leader wants to progress, if they sit and wait, then they could be missing out. So I think they should continue to pursue their career ambitions.
Thank you. Thank you. Janice, what about you? What do you think?
I would say, yeah, a very similar thing, actually, not necessarily to sit tight, because I think things are still going to be happening around you, and there is the danger while you're trying to hunker down, you're missing out on opportunities. So yeah, I am sort of with Carol on that one, actually. But again, I guess it's worth checking what your career ambitions are, checking in with them. Are they going to still be the same, or has this pandemic turned them upside down? So it might be worth just checking in with yourself as to, where is my career and where do I want to take it now, given this situation?
Lovely. Thank you. And Obi?
I was thinking about the fact that, sitting tight, what did that even mean, right? But if you have situations where, one person is furloughed in your household, therefore income isn't quite like it used to be, then you might be tempted to say, I can't risk it by trying something new or going to other jobs and seeing how it gets and all that kind of stuff. So it's not unusual that will feel like that. But I think what I want to say is that it's an opportunity to reflect on what you actually want. So even if you're not ready to make a move or any of that kind of stuff, or it just feels too risky, I would encourage and want people to start thinking, what do I want really? And start having that conversation, as opposed to not having the conversation because it's not time yet. Does that make sense? So I would want people to think, right, what do I want? What training, what relevant training can I start doing now to get me ready? What conversation could I be having with my existing boss about potential? What conversation would I want to be having with my spouse, for example, about trying to move up or take a pay cut just to be able to establish another type of career or even start your own business. So that's what I would say there. But I don't think anybody needs to just sit tight and just wait it out. I think that's a waste of your time and energy, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I completely agree with all of you. And I'm thinking about experience recently with clients that organizations are restructuring. They're thinking about, how do I need to be in this time or for the future? And in restructuring, we know there might be redundancies, but there also might be opportunities in restructuring. And I think positioning yourself to be ready for those is really important.
Yeah.
I think there's a saying, isn't there, that if you stand still, you go backwards. And I think the idea is, don't stand still. And, when I think about that, I think, when you're on a beach and the tide comes in and you find yourself, you're stationary, but the tide somehow moves you back, even though you haven't stepped back. And I think with the pace of change, we have to keep moving forward, even if we don't feel like we're moving very fast. So I think that's absolutely key, and it makes.
Could I add to what you've just said, Jenny, about the opportunities that come as a result of restructuring? So prior to starting my business, when I was a leader in an organisation, I got 3 of my promotions as a result of the organisation going through a restructure and the opportunities that came about as a result of it.
Yeah. And it can be painful, I think, at this time, though, because you're thinking, restructuring, we're in COVID, I'm maybe homeschooling and I'm trying to manage my work, or I'm dealing with, employees, colleagues who are finding it hard. But actually, in the midst of this storm, it can, there can be opportunity, can't there? And I think it's noticing that opportunity, which is key. So thank you so much for your thoughts on that. We'll look out.